The following tip is brought to you by
Hawkeye, securing what matters most.
Use security cameras to secure your home. Outdoor cameras will discern friend or foe, and it is a visual cue to the burglar that you are monitoring the property. The preceding tip was brought to you by
Hawkeye, securing what matters most.
This Christmas, wake up to a dream bedroom. Spend $30,000 or more at Singer November 15 to December 31 and get a chance to win a complete bedroom makeover absolutely free. But that's not all. 2 lucky winners will win a 4-day family vacation for 4 at an all-inclusive hotel. Singer makes Christmas unforgettable with 4 months for cash and 9 months no interest. Visit Singer today and live in style this Christmas. Must be 18 years or older to enter. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Get Sagicor School Companion Health Plan for as little as $2,540 per month. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, manhunt on as 5 escape Barnett Street Police Station. St. Elizabeth Police clamping down this Christmas. Indian spiritual leader gets keys to the city. And US $400 million Princess Grand Hotel opens in Hanover. In sports, Kingston College crowned Olivia Shield champions for a 10th time. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7, our weekend edition for Saturday, December 14, 2024. I'm Curlin Brown. Concerns are again being raised about security of the Barnett Street Police Station in St. James after 5 prisoners escaped from the facility on Saturday between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m. A search is currently underway for the men who have been identified as 42-year-old Edgar Spence of Flower Hill, St. James, who was charged with possession of a prohibited weapon. 36-year-old Tidell Ferguson of Mountain View, Greenwood, also in St. James, charged with larceny of motor vehicle. 22-year-old Tyrese Brown of Albertown, Trelawney, charged with murder and rape. 23-year-old Daniel McIntosh of Peddlers Lane, Mount Salem, St. James, charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, and 43-year-old Maurice Belnavis of Greens Paradise, Norwood, also in St. James. He was charged with simple larceny. The Jamaica Constabulary Force says it's committed to ensuring the safe apprehension of the fugitives and is asking for the public's cooperation. Anyone who may have information on the whereabouts of these escapees is being urged to contact police emergency by dialing 119 or Crime Stop at 311. And the St. Elizabeth Police are continuing community engagement efforts this Christmas season. They are making note of fatal motor vehicle crashes and are advising no permits for bike shows will be permitted.
I note that the citizens of this parish are in fact submitting their applications for their events well in advance, and I want to thank the media for carrying the story, and certainly the councillors who perhaps would have also shared in their constituents. We do appreciate when the applications come early so that we can do the necessary investigation and make the decisions as appropriate. For this year, though, and for this period, we are not granting any permit for bike shows. And that decision was a collective decision when I met with my management team and we discussed it. Last year, 17 persons died from motorcyclists. This year, 12 died. We have seized hundreds of unlicensed motorbikes, uninsured bikes, and scores of these drivers continue to drive without wearing safety helmets. And so we're not approving any bike show during this period.
Meanwhile, a curfew has been imposed in sections of North St. Andrew. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Friday, December 13, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Sunday, December 15. The boundaries of the curfew are north from Golden Spring Road to the intersection of Airy Castle Road and Levy Terrace, going south to the intersection of Airy Castle Road and Lipscomb Avenue, east to the intersection of Stony Hill Road and Seaview Road, and west from the intersection of Stony Hill Road and Seaview Road to Golden Spring Road. Please remain within the curfew boundaries unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. Now, after an abrupt end to the Clarendon Municipal Corporation meeting this week, newly elected People's National Party Councillor Delroy Dawson reinforced the call from the PNP's minority leader for Maypen's Mayor Joel Williams to step down. The PNP won the popular vote in the recent Annan Town Division by-election.
You know, today in the council there was 11-11 after swearing. The minority leader had a resolution to bring forward. It was on the agenda after swearing in, become 11-11, so he was asking for it to deal with at that time, which for me I don't see anything wrong with that because it have tied into the swearing process. But the mayor insists that they are not going to take it, and for me you cannot have the minority and want to rule the majority straight. Because 11-11 and more vote, so you need to be respectful and share the responsibilities. And for me, I don't think the council is going to be in that position that he thinks it's going to be every day, because I won't be sitting here and allow them alone to have all the chairman and vice chairman and the committees when we are equal in numbers. So I think some serious days are ahead coming. Then I think they should just walk and allow the process to run and make the parish. And the parish is the one that is suffering. The people within the parish is suffering from what is happening here. And if you are a good leader, then you need to look on what best for the parish.
Child safety is again at the forefront of national concern following the deaths of 2 youngsters in a massive house fire in Westmoreland. The Office of the Children's Advocate, the OCA, says the heartbreaking incident serves as a stark reminder for greater vigilance from parents, guardians and caregivers to prevent such tragedies. Shantae McNeil has that follow-up.
Children's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison has renewed calls for parents to exercise vigilance in child care following the tragic deaths of 2 8-year-old boys in Clarendon, Westmoreland. The boys reportedly perished in a candlelit house fire after allegedly being left home alone in their 3-bedroom dwelling. A couple is now in custody as investigations continue.
We need to stop thinking that this can't happen to us. And I think that is the trap that many people fall into. We need to be very vigilant in terms of who we leave children with. Are children old enough to react in a set of circumstances that are crises without the guidance of an adult? And if the answers to those questions are no, then it means that we really shouldn't be leaving these children alone.
Harrison emphasized that child protection goes beyond parental responsibility, calling on communities to support struggling families. She urged heightened vigilance, especially during the festive season when children are at greater risk of harm.
You know, sometimes you have relatives who come around who have been around for a long time, or friends and so on. Be in tune with your children, encourage them that yes, don't feel that you're going to spoil my holiday with any bad news. We don't relax completely because it's the holiday season, but we are even more redoubling our resolve to ensure that we remain observant, we keep the lines of communication open, and we are being there for our children.
As the nation mourns another preventable tragedy, Harrison's plea serves as a stark reminder: protecting children requires collective effort. Shantae McNeil, CVM News.
Jamaica is making waves in the tourism industry with the opening of the Princess Grand and the Princess Senses, the Mangrove Hotel in Grinnell and Hanover. The Prime Minister and the Tourism Minister officially welcomed the major investment, noting it's another step towards development. Courtney Lewis tells us more.
The Prime Minister is reiterating the importance of a stable economy as Jamaica officially opened the Princess Grand and Princess Senses the Mangrove Hotel in Hanover Thursday. The $400 million getaway is noted as one of the platforms for economic growth, with efficiency as a goal.
That is improving infrastructure to support this amazing investment. And most importantly, to ensure that the people of Jamaica benefit from the stability.
He commits to new infrastructure developments to boost the West Tourism Corridor, including a bypass, airport, and parks for recreation.
Let us focus on getting the seawall road fixed, which is a major obstacle, inconvenience. Let's get the bypass of Hopewell and Lucy done.
The tourism minister echoed the message, adding restoration of the supply chain and human capital is part of the ministry's pivot to growth.
So we are going to be talking with our friends, and we say when you build fabulous hotels like this, make sure that we carve out a space to secure the entrepreneurship of Jamaicans in the supply chain of tourism.
A logistics center is next on the GOJ's radar.
To ensure that the supplies that are required can be sourced, even in raw material state, brought into Jamaica, added value to it, provide jobs for our people, and enable us to also do nearshoring. That is to supply on the needs of areas that are around us.
The hotel features a sustainable mangrove forest attraction and provides over 1,000 employment opportunities. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, led Jamaica's delegation at the 8th round of ministerial consultations between the Caribbean community CARICOM and Japan, which concluded today, December 14, in Tokyo. The ministerial consultations were co-chaired by Japan's Foreign Minister, His Excellency Iwaya Takeshi, and the chairman of the CARICOM Council for Foreign and Community Relations, COFCOR, Dr. Vince Henderson. Jamaica spoke on behalf of CARICOM on the ocean and the blue economy, as well as regional efforts to restore stability in Haiti.
Committed to working together to address global challenges, foster sustainable development, and to advance a brighter future for our respective people. I look forward to meeting with Minister Iwaya and to exploring opportunities to strengthen our Japan-Jamaica JJ partnership, particularly in the areas of security, climate resilience, and renewable energy. I'm also looking forward to the preparations for Japan's hosting of World Expo 2025, scheduled to take place in Osaka, in which Jamaica is very much looking forward to participating.
Now, the last CARICOM-Japan ministerial meeting was held here in Kingston, Jamaica in July 2021 and was co-chaired by Minister Johnson-Smith and Minister Motegi Toshimitsu during his official visit, the first ever by a Japanese foreign minister to Jamaica.
The 8th CARICOM-Japan ministerial meeting presents an opportunity for us to reflect on the strength of our region's long-standing partnership with Japan. This meeting, which also falls during the second CARICOM-Japan Friendship Year, will commemorate 30 years of the first consultations between CARICOM and Japan. As for Jamaica, this is also a moment of great pride, as we are still celebrating 6 decades of diplomatic relations with Japan this year, a genuine friend and reliable development partner for Jamaica.
An Indian spiritual leader known for his humanitarian and educational leadership has been given the keys to the city. He used the platform to zoom in on the youth and their role in world peace. Courtney Lewis reports.
Known for his campaigns for world peace and non-violence, Indian leader Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar pointed to students as the future of peace for Jamaica. He says education goes beyond academics and builds personality.
If we value non-violence, we will have more peace. When we have more peace, of course, the productivity will be there and prosperity, it will simply follow. And in this effort, students form a very, very important role.
He emphasizes stress relief for students and mental health and welcome partnership to bolster technical skills.
We would very much like to share information, technology and humanitarian development. I'm very glad to see that there are a lot of efforts here to bring up the technical education, which is most needed for the prosperity of any nation.
He was speaking at the University of Technology on Friday, where he was also granted the keys to the city.
And whereas the Kingston State Municipal Corporation considers his immense impact on the world as invaluable and supremely transformative, be it resolved that the keys of the city of Kingston be conferred on Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar in recognition of his enduring legacy in making the world a better place for all human beings.
Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
Do stay with us for more CVM News in a moment.
And your entire family
to be a part of our Christmas Wish, a festive experience featuring the Voice Box Kids and our special guest, Uncle Kevin Donswell, and a few other big surprises.
Join us on Sunday, December 15th at 7 p.m. at the Carl Hendrickson Auditorium, Jamaica College. Gates open at 6 p.m. Tickets are for $3,500 for adults
and $2,000 for picnic.
Get them now at La Shushan and Copycat Barbican or email us at voicebox876@gmail.com.
Our Christmas Wish is sponsored by CVM TV, the Digital Foundation, Island Grill, JPS, TST, Edna Manley College, Starlight, and AV Montage Limited. See you there!
It was the Wild Wild West, a parading of the equine stars in the US 250,000 Mute Mile. Relive the excitement, the drama, fashion, fun, and entertainment. Mute Mile Rewind this Saturday at 9 p.m. with a repeat Sunday at 2 p.m. on CVM TV. Mute Mile Rewind, brought to you by the Jamaica Tourist Board and the Supreme Ventures Group.
Hi, T. I'm Mighty.
This is mine?
I want to do the big ladder road.
Where's the sleigh? Good morning.
You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Tamaiti Christmas in the Streets is brought to you by Flow, unwrapping holiday happiness. That's
We welcome you back with all regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. Dangerous incompetence. Those were the words from Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley about a front-page newspaper article he described as wholly irresponsible. Dr. Rowley chastised the newspaper for the headline. We turn to TTT News for that report.
Under this administration would have seen our position with the Venezuelan matter, that it's a matter of non-interference, non-intervention. And against that background, you think that we sign a document to make our territory available for United States troops in Trinidad and Tobago to deal with Venezuelan issue? You are irresponsible. And if this hurts our interests, I will hold you personally responsible for it.
The meeting included himself, other government ministers, United States Ambassador Candace Bond, and Commander of the U.S. Southern Command, Southcom, Admiral Alvin Halsey. At the meeting, Ambassador Bond, Admiral Halsey, and Prime Minister Rowley celebrated the successful conclusion of negotiations on a status of forces agreement SOFA, which will facilitate interoperability between the two countries' armed forces.
To tell the world that we have entered into an arrangement, to tell Venezuela that we have entered into an arrangement, to tell Guyana and to tell CARICOM that this picture is representative of an action that we've taken with the head of Southcom, Admiral Halsey, and it's about us creating an environment where the United States can place troops in Trinidad and Tobago to respond to instability in Venezuela. Whoever did this is not acting in the interests of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Prime Minister Mia Mottley is urging countries in the Caribbean and Latin America to collaborate to fight against organized crime, as Barbados and 17 other countries sign on to the Alliance for Security, Justice and Development, an initiative created to change the landscape of security in the Americas. CBC News Barbados tells us more.
Prime Minister Mottley wants countries in the Caribbean and Latin America to see the newly launched Alliance for Security, Justice and Development as an opportunity to work together to fight against the devastating effects of organized crime. Addressing the official launch of the Alliance and the signing of its foundation through the Barbados Declaration, Prime Minister Mottley says the separation between Latin America and the Caribbean that has come by historic links and as a result of language has now to be bridged.
Because it does not exist in the eyes of the criminal community. We have many prisoners from Latin America in our prison, and I'm sure across the entire Caribbean it is the same. And I have no doubt that Latin America and Central America have many prisoners from the Caribbean who do not speak Spanish but speak other languages, English or French or Dutch. And therefore the lesson that we must leave here is that this alliance and the ability to communicate and partner at the international level, but within our domestic boundaries, will be the only basis for success in wrestling crime to the ground.
And in international news, outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden says that he was pardoning 39 people convicted of nonviolent crimes and commuting the sentences of nearly 1,500 others serving long terms. The details from Reuters.
The White House said the clemencies granted by Biden were the most ever in a single day. The move comes over a week after the president signed an unconditional pardon for his son Hunter. Officials said last week that the White House was listening to demands for Biden to extend the same grace to thousands of people wronged by the U.S. judicial system. Biden said in a statement the people to whom he granted clemency would have received shorter sentences if charged under today's laws. Experts say the commutations announced were for those who were placed on home confinement during the COVID-19 pandemic to slow the spread of the virus, rather than many individual civil rights groups have been advocating for. The president said his administration will continue reviewing clemency petitions and that he would take more steps in the weeks ahead. Meanwhile, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, who takes office on January 20th, has said he would act on his first day in office to pardon rioters involved in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol, further building expectations for a broad granting of clemency.
And that's it for regional and international news.
An update for you now on the progress of an 11-year-old girl you met several weeks ago on Inspire Jamaica. Well, she underwent an overdue surgery to correct curvature of the spine.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can.
You could easily call this Ajane Parchment's I've Got This dance. Her words in action as she gleefully shuffles away on the ward days after finally undergoing a major surgical procedure.
Ajane did the surgery on the 20th of November. It was a lot of mixed feelings. Going into the surgery, she cried as I guess she was scared.
Add to her fear, her period of waiting had triggered much disquiet in the medical field, with claims and counterclaims as to why there was a delay, despite willing and capable hands to address this case of scoliosis. There was intervention though, and she ended up at the University Hospital of the West Indies in collaboration with a specialist from Canada.
Well, she did the surgery. It went for a few hours, about 9 to 10 hours thereabout, or probably more. While waiting, I was scared, I was happy, it was just a lot of mixed feelings. She came out, the doctors told me that she was awake and she was moving all her limbs. When I went to see her in the ICU, she was attached to a lot of different machines and everything, but everything was okay. She came out of the ICU the next day. They wanted to get her out of bed, but she was grumpy. She was in pain. She didn't want to do anything. She was also frustrated to the point where she said that she wanted to take the rods out her spine. She started walking 2 days afterwards with the help of the physiotherapist. She did physio there. About the third to fourth day, she was walking by herself. She was limping a little, but you know that it is expected.
Today, she stands literally toe to toe, eyeing her mother, who is 5 feet 8 inches tall. It's as if she has crawled out of a cocoon, although straightened by pins. She's beaming with lots of confidence, happy to be surrounded by her family, whose love helps to cushion her discomfort.
We are now at home. She still feels a little pain every now and then, but it's mostly when the time is like cold. Otherwise from that, she's okay. The scar is healing nicely. She's even dancing, so you can see that there's she is moving along. She's actually on her way to recovery. We're getting her to study and so on. She still feels a little self-conscious, but her spine is actually straight. And she is actually on her way to recovery. So everything is good. The doctors have been great. The nurses have been great.
In the meantime, Ajane has been granted a 3-month stay from school to heal and continue her checkups.
For persons with scoliosis, honestly, it's not the end of the road. Surgery is not the worst. It is pretty scary, yes, but it works out. It works out, and I would suggest that if you can get to do the surgery, you do the surgery, because it actually does work out. It doesn't stop you having or doing the surgery. It doesn't stop you from living a normal life, because once the surgery is done and you bounce back, things actually go back to normal with some limitations, maybe, but things does go back to normal.
A big thank you to all who made this possible. And best regards, Ajane, as we continue to inspire Jamaica.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
Ronaldo Adams is standing by with sports.
Almighty.
This is mine?
I want that in the middle of the road.
Where's the sleigh? Good morning.
You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Tamaiti Christmas in the Streets is brought to you by Flow, unwrapping holiday happiness. That's Christmasing.
It was the Wild Wild West, a parading of the equine stars in the US 250,000 Mute Mile. Relive the excitement, the drama, fashion, fun and entertainment. Mute Mile Rewind this Saturday at 9 p.m. with a repeat Sunday